Hi, I'm Dr. Khurrum Shaukat Yusafzai. Today's video is about the Pashto poet Ameer Hamza, whose complex known as Hamza Baba complex is situated right next to the Landi kotal cantonment. Landi kotal is at the west of Peshawar, about 30 to 50 kilometers drive. And when you reach the Landi kotal cant, there is a road leading to the right towards the Ameer Hamza Baba complex, where there is a library and the tomb of the famous Pashto poet. It was built in 2003. And how this was built? Somebody gifted a book to the governor of the Pakhtunkhwa province. The gift from the Pashto Academy professor so impressed the governor that he decided to make a complex in 2003. Although the Pashto poet had died in 1994, and when I reached, there was beautiful mountains with snow all around, the beautiful mountains of the Khurrum mountain range laid with snow. So let me tell you about this person. When he was in grade 4, his mother died, and when he went to the school, he could not write in the foreign language of Hindi or Urdu, so he used to draw pictures. That infuriated the teacher so much that he beat the hell out of him. So he went to the mother's grave and cried, and there he made the first couplet. The Israfil shpele mata yachi Zuche the madrase genti waram. No da di pehla shero or da se शायरी ददी खासा दा چې ډیره اسانه جبه کې ده او د دې یو خپل شعر دی ساده ساده ونې لیکم او وایم په مثالونو او په متلونو نه یم. Ameer Hamza was born in the Landi kotal district of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa province. So 5 people did PhD thesis on his poetry in Pashto, and he's considered as a bridge between the classic and the modern Pashto literature. His students were Nazir Shinwari, Khatir Afridi and Khyber Afridi. So this man never made it to the 10th grade, although his preliminary education was in a school where he was beaten by the teacher for not being able to write anything other than Pashto. In Islamic college, from grade 5 to 10, he could not complete his education because his love was only for Pashto, although he could read Urdu and Hindi by that time. So he started his career with the Urdu playwriting, and he did some Pashto poetry as well. He in his life had produced about 200 plays for the Radio Pakistan and Pakistan TV, and he has written 30 books in the Pashto. And he's known as the king or the Baba of the Pashto ghazals because he literally made this genre. So Ameer Hamza Shinwari, who was a legend, basically did romantic poetry as well as Sufism or religious poetry, as well as Pashto nationalist poetry. So these are the 3 categories in which his poetry can be divided. Ameer Hamza influence on the romantic poetry which he started actually happened because when he was in Peshawar, where he was taken by his brother, he loved to watch the Hindi movies in the cinemas in Peshawar and in Jalalabad and Kabul. So when they would go and watch the movies, his wish was to contribute to the Bollywood or Hindi cinema. So he went to Bollywood, and he was there met some people, and he actually made Laila Majnu movie and also contributed in its Pashto translation. During his stay in Bollywood, Bombay, Delhi, he went to Ajmer Sharif in India at the shrine of Khwaja Muinuddin Chishti, where when he reached there, he became unconscious. He did not realize what had happened to him. So when he woke up, he asked the administrator or the Gada Nashin what had happened to him. He told him that the Tasawwuf or the Sufism had hit him. So in order to find out about Sufism, he asked their help, and they referred him to Bachajan, Abdus Sattar Shah Baba of Peshawar, who was the disciple of Muinuddin Chishti, and he was the follower in Sufism. He was of such a high stature that after hundreds of years, he raised the flag in 1920s on his place, which was first raised by Khwaja Bakhtiyar Kaki, one of the greatest Sufi peers of Indian subcontinent, in 1235. So that means that the Peshawar Bachajan or Peer Abdul Sattar Shah Bukhari was one of the greatest in the Chishti Sufi dynasty, and he was a follower of the Dir Pir Baba. So he was following him, but in 1926 the flag was raised, and his name is also listed on top of the Ajmer Sharif gate, where he's mentioned very prominently. So he used to conduct Mahfil Sama, where he started the Qawwali or the religious songs in Peshawar area. So Amir Hamza quickly became his follower and disciple and tried to learn Sufism from Bachajan or Pir Abdul Sattar Shah Chishti. So Amir Hamza quickly became one of the top Sufi poet in Pashto very quickly, because he was a genius and he understood Sufism. So his journey from romantic poetry culminated in the Sufism, and that's where he became a legend. He is number 3 after Rahman Baba, Khushal Khan Khattak, and then he's in the 3rd. No, the sher de ta khove yozal Hamza sasho zama khore ba nare kai chz daim. No, Hamza Baba ta pato چې دا خورې به د ده نوم اخلي، او د دې مثال تاسو د حمزه بابا کمپلیکس کې کتلی شي. نو د دې شعر دی: وی اغیار چې پښتو به د دوزخ جبه ده، زه به پښتو سره جنت ته ځم، خپلو پښتو به جنت کې بیا وایمه، د غیرو جبه به نه وایمه. زبا پرچار د پښتنو قوم کوم، زه سه پیروکار د مغل نه یم. While saying about Pashtun hospitality, Hamza Baba said the following couplet: Da umid بما پښتون یار نه دی، چې ملما د اجرې نه تالا نهر لاړه. نو دا د هغې د پښتنو کم رویه د هغې بارے کې خپل شعرونو کې وویلو. دې نه مخکې چې د دې عشقیه شاعري وه نو هغه داسې وه: عشق کې تورم د کتلو نیم، خپله کور نه وتلی نه یم، خپل پښتو مې نه پرېږدي اغیاره، تا ته پخپو پرېوتلی ام یاره. شعر بل شعر دی: هر خبره ما ته مه کوه اشنا، زه د رازونو ساتلو نه یم. بل شعر دی: نور هر سړی تلم په تله، خو د خپل ځان په تلنو نه یم. بیا د دې شعر دی: دا چې د وخت وزرې نه لرم، ځکه سپوږمۍ ته د ختلو نه یم. زه پښتون په دواړو سترګو ړوند یم، وخت د ساتلو نه یم. Ameer Hamza Baba, the Pashto poet, was a legend, and he knew that Pashtuns would play a part in the world history. So that's why his poetry was very popular, and since he belonged to the Sufi Chishti order, he knew the future. So that's why he said those couplets. Hamza Baba has written 30 books on Pashto poetry and more than 200 plays for the Radio Pakistan and also the Pakistan TV. So 5 scholars have done their PhDs on his Pashto poetry, and many more would come. I think the government of Pakistan should make a university on the name of Ameer Hamza Baba Shinwari and provide an opportunity for the people of Pakhtunkhwa to come here and study the Pashto literature for the romanticism, the Sufism, and the Pashtun Wali. Pashtun Wali means the code of ethics or honor, because nowhere in the world it is said that I am doing Pashto, because you cannot say you're doing Arabic or you're doing English or you're doing Hindi or Urdu. Only in this part of world people say I will do Pakhto, which means kindness, justice, something good, something really good against the evil. So in order to understand Pashto, which some people say is code of ethics, which is based on the Israelite 10 commandments which Prophet Moses brought from Mount Sinai, and it's actually this philosophy which is in the Pashto language, and this has to be studied by the global scholars, and the Pakistan government should provide an opportunity for these people to come here and look at it, because this is something which can change the world history. And for that reason, Ameer Hamza Baba had predicted the same in his poetry. If the world has to understand the lost 10 tribes, then they have to study the Pashto and its literature. And recently the people have realized, because like the names of the Pashtun tribes like Shinwari, Yusafzai, Wazir are actually the names of the sons of Prophet Yaqub, grandsons of Abraham, and they do follow the 10 commandments of Prophet Musa, and Pashto could be that thing. So it's not just a language or poetry, it's actually an ideology. And that's why, as I said, the poetry of Ameer Hamza would guide the people and so would the poetry of Rahman Baba, Khushal Khan Khattak, and Mr. Ansari, Mirza Ansari, and so many others. So the world needs to look at the Pashto literature with the keen eye, and this is the beginning. So that's why he predicted that the sun would rise from these beautiful mountains of Khyber that will make the whole subcontinent palwasha or bright, as he said in his Pashto language couplet. And I could see those beautiful mountains of Karakoram range, the Hindu Kush mountains, or the Solomon range. So he wrote a beautiful poem on my grandfather's death in 1976, my father's father, and then I maybe paid him back by making this video to understand who was Ameer Hamza Shinwari and what he meant and what he did in his lifetime. So I hope you subscribe to my channel for such informative videos and also understand the interesting aspects of Pakhtunkhwa via my channel with dual language videos in Pashto and English. So hope to see you soon. After you subscribe, to find me in billions of video, you have to subscribe. So take care and goodbye and have a nice day.